What about the for versus while loop? How do they differ? Remember we said at the beginning that for loop can be used or while loop can be used to perform a certain piece of action. Now we have seen examples of both the for loop and the while loop. Now we want to understand the difference between for and while loops. Although they have specific purposes and they work in slightly different ways, like I said, the purpose at the end of the day is to do iteration. Now, instead of actually telling you how they differ, let's actually run a program, write a program using both the for loop and the while loop, right? And then we can easily understand the difference. So print all the numbers from 1 to 10 using both the for loop and the while loop. Now we have already done it in the previous example, right? So print all the numbers using either a for loop like so. So for example, let's say the range is 10, right? And using a for loop, we were able to print the numbers from 0 to 10. What about a while loop? Now, in order to write this using while, now we can almost do something similar using the while statement, but you need some kind of a specific iterator for that to iterate through numbers. Iterable. This is called the iterable, something that can be iterated over. It's basically a range. For loop is specifically designed to work with iterables. That's the speciality of for loops. When I say iterable, think of a range. As long as you have a range of numbers, range of words, range of sentences, a range. As long as you have a range, a for loop can automatically iterate over it. But without iterables, if I want to write the same kind of logic using the while statement, I have to write something like this. Number equals 0, and then while number greater than 10, let's say, print number, and then you had to do number equals number plus 10, right? Now this will print the numbers okay. Execute, and that will print the same set of results that we have done previously with the for loop. But look at the way we are writing the while loop versus the for loop, right? We've got the for loop here and the while loop here. The for loop works seamlessly with a range of numbers. It will automatically give you the next number in the range. And that's why you say for number in numbers. So this is the range, and this is this is the variable that for loop returns by automatically iterating to the next number in the range. While loop, on the other hand, doesn't have that kind of an automatic mechanism. You'll have to do that increment yourself, right? And then you'll also have to write this, exit condition. But remember, in for loop, we did not write an exit condition, right? The exit condition was not there to start with. We just said number in numbers. That's it. The for loop will automatically take care of stepping through the range, and then finally when the range is done, it automatically exits. So for loop is more convenient for those kinds of situations. But that doesn't mean the while loop is not important. In fact, the while loop is used, in my experience, a bit more than the for loop. On the other hand, most of the situations might not have a range of numbers. It could be, for example, a situation where a certain break condition has to be true. For example, remember the elevator scenario where we said unless the user enters exit, keep going in that loop. Now that is something you cannot write using the for statement, or you'd have to go through hoops to implement it using the for statement. In summary, if we have a range of values, it could be numbers, words, sentences, objects. If you have a range of values and you want to iterate over all these numbers and perform a piece of action, like print a number, then use the for loop. Instead, if you don't have a range of numbers, but if you want to specify a certain condition based on which you want to break the loop or keep continuing until a certain point is hit, then use the while loop.